From devastating bushfires and floods to COVID-19 and ever-increasing political and social unrest, the past 2 years have been turbulent, to say the least. And with the media's constant coverage of these events and the 24-hour news cycle, tuning into the news has really taken a toll on the well-being of many. So how do we stay sane while also still staying informed? I'm Elina Marsh from Reading Inbetween The Headlines, and today we'll be discussing what news fatigue is and ways that we can cope with it. News fatigue is an unofficial term now being used to describe the emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion that individuals can experience when being exposed to traumatic and tragic events via the news or media. News fatigue can cause feelings of hopelessness, apathy, tiredness, and difficulties concentrating and focusing. In more serious cases, it can lead to other conditions such as depression and anxiety even. Because of news fatigue, more and more people are switching off and actively avoiding the news. A 2020 article published by The Conversation stated that 71% of Australians were avoiding coronavirus news because of news fatigue. That's more than 2/3 of the Australian population. All right, we get what you're saying, but what can we even do about it anyway? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here are some ways that you can combat news fatigue. Number 1, take a break. Take a break from the news and engage in some activities that you really enjoy, like cooking a delicious meal for yourself maybe, or playing fetch with your ball-obsessed dog. Or perhaps you'd much rather just curl up with a good book and a good cup of tea or coffee. Number 2, set limitations. Limit the amount of time that you engage with the news, especially if you're an avid social media user. You can set a timer or even go into your iPhone settings and set up the time limit widget on your phone that blocks certain apps after a period of time of using. Number 3, seek out the good news. Like that story about a man who bought his son and daughter with Down syndrome an ice cream van to ensure that they weren't out of a job and to make a point. Or the hospice workers who helped a 90-year-old couple fulfill their dream of taking the wedding photos they never had. And finally, keep it in perspective. Use this time as an opportunity to reflect on what is happening in the world around you and get inspired to create some positive change. So you're overwhelmed by the climate crisis. Research how you can make your lifestyle more sustainable. Or if you've got some local community issues at hand, ask around in your community about what you can do to make a really big difference. But if you are still feeling overwhelmed with news fatigue and require some extra support, don't be afraid to reach out to friends and family or contact your local crisis centre. After all, we're all in this together. Let's take down news fatigue.